passenger front window was smashed in when I knew damn well in the morning when I arrived it was fine, etc., etc. Terrorist stalking in America. A target will be followed on foot wherever he goes. Anyone can go to the same public places he goes, and they will attempt to get into any other restricted place he goes, including hospitals, places of employment, etc. It's been said that it's possible to go nearly anywhere if you have a clipboard in your hand, and it is almost true. They also like to wear name badges on a lanyard, and some carry phony police badges. Continuing on from the same book, Terrorist Stalking in America, common harassment tactics used by those on foot include pen clicking, repeated clicking, rattling change. Many tactics are tried and the result is observed. So this is important. Many tactics are tried and the result is observed. Those which evoke a response from the target are repeated, and I've seen that happen a million times. When the target sits anywhere in public, group members will attempt to sit behind them in order to create noise or whatever means, including tapping feet. The objective is to harass the target constantly. But this is an important point. So they're basically trying to figure out what pushes your buttons, and then once they've established that a certain act, or in my particular case, the notion of having people, criminal confidential informants, harassing me with the same green Toyota Camry vehicle is a perfect example. So they understand clearly that that is something that quote unquote bothers me. It's something that's been well documented in these videos of mine, and so it's been sort of like a rinse repeat. Once you establish what bugs the target, then you can continue repeating. The thing that these people don't understand is that in your repetition, you also hang yourself. Again, from terrorist stalking in America, groups attempt to interfere with any business and personal relationships which the target has. Typically, this interference involves character assassination from anonymous individuals and is not usually taken seriously by those who know the target. It can be effective with people who don't know the target. At work, the target would also experience character assassination. If he works in any position where he has to deal with the public, there will be a steady stream of customers who complain about him. If he's a real estate agent, he will have a steady stream of prospects who occupy his time but never make an offer. Let me, and this is now a person named Eleanor White, give you an example of how brutal and serious this character assassination can be. One of our members, who prefers to remain anonymous, moved in with her husband and children to a house which, unknown to them, had been a methamphetamine lab. The chemicals used to brew meth apparently caused distinctive symptoms in the mouth. This family's dentist felt he was helping law enforcement, quote unquote, by reporting them to local law enforcement as meth users. This was absolutely untrue, but the family didn't even know the report had been made and had no way to correct it. In fact, in some places, dentists are required to report suspected cases of meth use. Law enforcement in that area was apparently tied into the citizens group, and the family was harassed for many years. The husband died apparently from exposure to these chemicals. The lady, now a grandmother, steadfastly did detective work and eventually found out about her family's reputation with some help from a policeman who was a personal friend from a different jurisdiction. This policeman admitted off the record that meth mouth can result in people being submitted to citizen harassment groups for harassment. Character assassination is complete and has life-destroying consequences. So there's an example of a completely innocent family, and they were actually victims of the idiots that had lived in this place before. And in a snowball effect, they became a target of this garbage that we've been talking about here on this channel for so long. And as if to add insult to injury, they continue to be a victim, and by no other than law enforcement. A common tactic used by groups is noise campaigns. Group members will drive by the target's residence or workplace, honking their horns, squealing tires, and making whatever other noise they can. They will also make noise from whatever nearby properties they have access to. Typically, they'll make noise when the target goes outside. Group members will also frequently knock on his door for whatever particular reasons they can dream up. In an apartment setting, targets can expect to hear tapping on walls in the middle of the night, hammering from upper and lower apartments, and possibly the apartments on both sides. They will continue to work on these activities for as long as they can get away with it, aka Garden Grove Hell House and the adjoining two condominiums. Again, from the group Terrorism Stalking in America, it is not uncommon in an apartment setting for a target to hear someone moving from one room, as he does from upper to lower apartment, etc. Often they occupy a nearby apartment part-time when the owner is not there and he receives some sort of benefit. A target may notice someone leaving a nearby apartment when he leaves his and arrive when he arrives. This was the specialty of the idiot imbeciles in my Garden Grove home. Again, why we refer to the Garden Grove home as Hell House. In addition, he will often be accompanied in elevators by a steady stream of different individuals who go to the apartments being used by the group. What about the future then? And let me close this review with a chilling quote from David Lawson's first book, Terrorism Stalking in America, reporting what the author learned from some of the leaders. The leaders are starting to balk at exposing their members to arrest for activities which amount to little gain for the movement. They say that anyone who is a target should be killed and not just harassed for years. And enter the story of me almost getting killed on the Garden Grove Freeway with a vehicle that deliberately cuts in front of me, and then witnessing immediately afterwards a police vehicle seconds later who doesn't stop to help and flees the scene. So anyway, I look at this webpage and it's literally like this person was writing the story of my life, a story that began under the leadership of Stan Nee's Garden Grove Police Department and Brad Gates' Orange County Sheriff's Department, and the police chief, I believe his name is Gaston, who I believe passed away in 1999 under his leadership as well. And it's a criminal harassment that has continued in a second generation of Orange County law enforcement in the form of Joe Polzar of the Garden Grove Police Department, Mike Corona of the Orange County Sheriffs, and Baker of the Anaheim Police Department. And we are now in a third generation with John Welter of the Anaheim Police Department, and Sandra Hutchins of the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and Kevin Rainey of the Garden Grove Police Department. And it's been 2 years since I've called the criminal bluff of this law enforcement community, where first I sat at the Garden Grove City Council for about a year, and then publicly speaking out about this at the Garden Grove City Council near the end of what would it be, 2011, and then again speaking at the Garden Grove City Council in January, I believe, of 2012, and then continuing to speak at the Anaheim City Council because we sold our home in Garden Grove and we're now here in Anaheim. I've spoken at the Anaheim City Council for on several occasions, and have contacted the Congressional Representative Loretta Sanchez and contacted the Los Angeles Division of the FBI via telephone as well. And so my question is very simple. What was said about me? I need to know, because I need to understand which police force said it, because I need to hold the city or county responsible for that police force. I need to hold them accountable. You are operating inside the United States of America, and you were under an oath when you took the job that you took. And there's a whole series of federal laws, specifically 18 U.S.C., that make it a serious felony to engage in coordinated and criminal harassment of a person, much less a U.S.-born United States citizen, New Yorker. And September 11th was a sad day for me, because not only was my country attacked, but the place of my birth, the city of my birth, was attacked. And those two buildings that fell down, for any person that was born and raised in New York City, I was born in the 60s there, I mean, those buildings were like our buildings. And any person that was born in that time and lived in New York at that time, we have memories of that building from when we were children, asking our parents how high it was going to go. We had memories as young adults in high school. And then we have memories of those buildings, showing them to my newly arrived Colombian immigrant wife, and being very proud. Being proud to be an American, and being proud to especially be a New Yorker American, and showing my wife from another country the majesty of those things. So not only was my country attacked, not only was my city attacked, my buildings were attacked, and they were attacked by a criminal racist. And I also knew that we were going to be turning for protection. We were going to be turning to our law enforcement community. But I also knew that there were people in our law enforcement community that could be just as despicable and just as criminally racist as a terrorist. And what happened to me. It began before September 11th, and it continued after September 11th. So that's why this needs to be resolved.